This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
Good evening, Philippines, and good day, world. It's Wednesday, November 1, 2023, and you're watching Newsline World. I'm Mayk and Oliveira.
And I'm Deivid Lira. We are here to bring you the top stories we gather from all over the globe.
The SMNI Foundation Inc. and Chinese Embassy in the Philippines inaugurated a new project in Dagami, Leyte as part of a mission to launch constructive projects nationwide.
The House of Representatives is set to host a special session for the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida this week. And Israel Defense Forces killed a top Hamas commander following a deadly airstrike at a refugee camp in northern Gaza. In Australia, residents were told to leave immediately as deadly bushfire continued to rage in the state of Queensland.
And Indonesia's anti-terror unit uncovered a plot to disrupt the 2024 presidential elections.
These and more for tonight's edition of Newsline World.
First in the news, a special session will take place in the House of Representatives this weekend for an important visitor. Find out who it is in MJ Moldahar's report.
The leadership of the Philippine House of Representatives has confirmed that they will hold a special session on Saturday, November 4. This is in honor of the visit of Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida to the plenary. According to Speaker Martin Romualdez, the House considers the visit of the Japanese leader as significant, given Japan's close alliance with the Philippines. In a statement, Romualdez emphasized that the visit of the Japanese Prime Minister will open up new opportunities for cooperation and development between Japan and the Philippines. The House is determined to ensure that the visit of the Japanese leader to the lower house is successful and memorable. Accompanying the Japanese Prime Minister is his spouse. The House expects that various topics will be discussed with Kishida, particularly in achieving international peace and prosperity. Kishida is set to arrive in the Philippines on Friday for his two-day state visit. His first stop will be a visit to President Bongbong Marcos at Malacanang before the special session at the House on Saturday. In addition to congressmen, some senators are also expected to attend the session. The meeting is expected to be a joint session between lawmakers. One of the expected topics for discussion during Kishida's visit is a Reciprocal Access Agreement, or RAA. This is a way for Japan and the Philippines to have their own Visiting Forces Agreement, or VFA, similar to the existing agreement between the country and the United States. If finalized, Japan and the Philippines will have bilateral defense and security pact for joint military exercises. Japan already has existing military cooperation with the United Kingdom, Australia, and France. In the 1940s, the Philippines was once occupied by Japan during World War II, resulting in the loss of many Filipino lives. In November of last year, on the sidelines of the ASEAN Plus 3 summit in Cambodia, President Marcos Jr. and Kishida agreed to strengthen the relationship between the Philippines and Japan. For Government of Philippines, MJ Mondihar, SMNI News.
People striving to earn a living at cemetery in Santa Maria, Bulacan are making the most of their time to gain additional income for their family. Hannah Paris has the story.
Here at Del Carmen Cemetery at Pulong Buhangin, Santa Maria, Bulacan, Romel is an expert when it comes to cleaning headstones. And every step of the way, he's going all in just to earn more money for his family. But now, he said his income is low because of the rainy season. Still, Romel continues to work to provide services to those who visit the cemetery this and thus. Romel added that his acquaintances gave him extra work because he is diligent and that his payment is cheaper.
Dami na namin, dati konti lang eh. Matumal eh. Ngayon matumal din ngayon eh. Kaso nga lang na marami na ako kakilala. Pero kahit mamula na doon sa kakilala, may kakilala ako, yun. Sa akin binibigay. Dahil magaling daw ako gumawa eh. Mura pa maningil.
Aside from Mang Romel, there are also a few vendors who peddle in the cemetery. One of them is Patrick Salazar, who sells recycled flowers.
Simula maghapon po, sakto lang po. Mga 20 peraso po.
Mary Jane's business is also doing good, in which she sells various street foods.
Ngayon pong araw, mga 10, sakto lang.
Despite the rainy weather, they are still willing to stretch their bones for their family. And because of this, they are also able to provide an important service, especially this All Saints Day. For God and My Beloved Philippines, Hannah Perez, SMNI News.
Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. visited the tomb of his father, the late President Ferdinand A. Marcos Sr., as the Philippines marks All Saints' Day on Wednesday. Federico Veloso reports the story live. Fred?
Good evening, Mike. President Bongbong Marcos, together with his family, visited the tomb of former President E. Marcos Sr. at the Heroes Cemetery in Taguig City earlier today.
The President arrived at the Heroes Cemetery accompanied by his wife, First Lady Luis Liza Araneta Marcos, and their children, Joseph Simon and William Vincent, where they attended a mass together. Also present were the mother of President Bongbong Marcos, former First Lady Imelda Marcos, and his siblings, Senator Amy Marcos and Irene Marcos Araneta. Supporters of the Marcos family also attended, paying tribute to the memory and service of late former president. After the mass, President Marcos approached and shook hands with their family's supporters. No formal program was held during the visit to Marcos Sr.'s tomb. The first family left the Heroes Cemetery after the mass.
Mike, President Marcos had previously issued a statement encouraging the Filipino people to participate in the commemoration of this year's UNDAS. He expressed his desire for a meaningful observance of these occasions. Mike?
Thank you very much. That's Federico Veloso live on SMNI Studios.
The Commission of Elections, COMELEC, has reported the completion of canvass and proclamation for the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections nationwide at 100%. Meanwhile, COMELEC aims to complete the distribution of honoraria to teachers who participated in the BSKE this week. The election body also provided an update on the number of cases related to vote buying and illegal and premature campaigning. Andrea Santos has the details.
The Commission's on-election spokesperson, Attorney John Rex Laudianco, announced that the canvassing and proclamation for the barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections have been completed nationwide at 100%. Laudianco earlier mentioned that they were only waiting for the canvassing results from one barangay, Barangay Naguma in Calbayog City, which had been delayed due to an incident on October 30th and 31st. There were reports of harassment by an unidentified group, resulting in the postponement of the election in that barangay. However, as of 1:30 p.m. on November 1st, the winning candidates in Barangay Naguma, Calbayog City have been proclaimed. As a result, COMELEC confirmed that canvassing and proclamation proceedings for all 42,000 and more barangays across the country have been successfully completed. The election body expressed their gratitude to the Department of Education, Philippine National Police, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Philippine Coast Guard, and other partner agencies, as well as to the Filipino people for the successful election. In terms of the distribution of honoraria to teachers and electoral board members, Laudianco stated that they began the process since the election day.
Dahil yung mga maaga pong nakatapos na electoral boards na nakapagsumiti na po ng dalawa, na isubmit na po nila yung kanilang election returns sa Barangay Board of Canvassers at naibalik na po yung mga ballot boxes sa pangangalaga ng ating mga municipal at city treasurer's office, ay agad po silang pinuntahan ng ating mga election officers o di kaya tumungo dun sa aming opisina at nagsimula na po ang distribution at payouts po ng mga honoraria.
COMELEC expects to complete the distribution of honoraria to teachers and electoral board members as soon as possible. They aim to complete this process within the week.
Although ang batas po, ang Election Service Reform Act, ay pinahihintulutan kami ng 15 days o hanggang November 14 po na magbigay ng honoraria sa ating mga teachers, ngunit bilang paggalang po at bilang pagkilala sa kabayanihan ng ating mga guro, minamadali na po namin ito at sisikapin po namin matapos sa linggong ito ang pamimigay ng kanilang honoraria.
Regarding the issue of vote buying, Laudianco revealed that as of October 31st, 27 cases related to vote buying have been filed. Furthermore, COMELEC plans to file an additional 46 cases in the coming days.
At meron pa pong 154 na inaaral na po na mukhang matibay ang ebidensya at tuluyan pong isasampa ng Committee on Contrabigay ang kasong ito laban sa mga taong gumawa ng vote buying.
Laudianco stated that over 300 cases have been filed regarding those who commit illegal and premature campaigning from August 28th until the day of the election. He also reminded that COMELEC still has the authority to disqualify or remove from office those who won the election but were proven to have violated the law. For God and my beloved Philippines, this has been Andrea Santos, SMNI News.
Australian officials urge residents to leave their homes immediately as several bushfires continue to burn in Queensland. Jillian Libuit files this report.
Residents in the nearby towns in Queensland were asked to evacuate their homes as dozens of bushfires burn across the state.
The warning comes as a severe thunderstorm develops near fire zones in the southeast part of the state, bringing damaging winds and large hailstones. Firefighters were able to contain the bushfire in the rural town of Tara in the Western Downs region. However, 2 people died and 53 homes were destroyed. Meanwhile, air and ground crews successfully saved hundreds of residents around the town of Oliveira, as more than 1,000 firefighters continue to battle blazes in the state. A spokesperson for the Queensland Fire and Emergency Services thanked the firefighters for their tremendous services in helping save the town of Oliveira from the deadly blazes and acknowledged the Albanese government for its contribution.
The area we were concerned about this afternoon and this evening was Wollongara, which is one of the border towns. There's 600 people that live in that town. We've just been observing the vision and we've been getting briefings from emergency services. Can I just say this has been an outstanding work. The fire is now going around the town, so the town has been saved. This is tremendous work, and I also want to thank the New South Wales government because we utilised their large tanker, their large plane, and that has been of tremendous service.
Experts from Melbourne-based Monash University have warned that more than 2,400 lives will be lost to bushfires in Australia by 2030, while healthcare costs from smoke-related deaths is expected to reach $110 million. Reporting from New South Wales, this has been Jillian Libuit, SMNI News, Australia.
We once again call out Iraq over its decision to revoke a maritime border deal over the Wade Water, a waterway shared by both countries in the Arabian Gulf. Melchizedek Cadiz has the news.
Kuwait's Crown Prince Sheikh Mishal Al-Hamad Al-Sabah exclaimed his surprise at Iraq's decision to nullify a treaty on the crucial Khor Abdullah waterway. Signed in 2012, the maritime border deal between Kuwait and Iraq regulated navigation on the crucial waterway that leads to the Persian Gulf. The strategic waterway not only boasts historical significance dating back centuries, but also plays an important role in the economies of Kuwait and Iraq. The Federal Supreme Court of Iraq annulled the treaty in September. The Crown Prince described the move as unconstitutional while violating all international laws, treaties, and agreements. Sheikh Mishal made the statement at the inauguration of the second session, the 17th Legislative of the National Assembly. He also condemned Israel's military escalation in Gaza and called for an immediate ceasefire. Reporting, this has been Melchizedek Cadiz, SMNI News, Kuwait.
More news when Newsline World returns.
Cable Channel 10. You may also watch SMNI on digital TV in Davao City and Manila, and also in TV Plus and GMA Afford Box and over 500 cable TV affiliates nationwide. Watch SMNI on digital channels in Mega Manila, Channel 39 and 43. We are also on analog TV in Lawag, Channel 35, Isabela, Channel 37, Vegan, Channel 38, Rojas, Channel 39, Butuan, Channel 39, and Davao, Channel 43. If you're on your mobile phone, download SMNI app or visit smni.com to get the latest news, updates, and more. Also, browse through the day's top stories and receive notifications for breaking news. Watch us live on our official Facebook and Rumble accounts, and you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, so you don't miss out on our extra minute segments. Wherever you decide to watch, we're glad you choose SMNI News, the home of nation builders who bravely bring truth that matters.
The healthy way to lose weight. Edmark's Power 4 Slimming Program. Step 1. Detoxify with Edmark Shake Off in pandan and lemon flavor. Fast, effective colon cleansing. See result after 6 hours. Step 2. Burn fat and nourish with Edmark's Meal Replacement Therapy. Organic formulation with low-calorie, balanced nutrition, aids in losing weight and burns fat. Step 3. Balance and cleanse with Edmark's Splena Liquid Chlorophyll. Purifies the blood and balances pH. Step 4. Rejuvenate with Edmark's Ginseng Coffee Energy Booster. Lowers blood pressure and memory enhancer. And Red Yeast Coffee Cholesterol Buster. Anti-aging and prevents heart disease. Edmark Pasay franchise located at Empire Center, ground floor, EDSA Extension, Pasay City. For inquiries, contact Miss Bing at 0995-480-1026.
Stay with Edmark. Feel good now.
Back in the news, Brazil's Supreme Electoral Court once again banned former Brazilian President Jair Messias Bolsonaro from running in future elections. Natalia Prado will tell us more live. Natalia?
The trial that determined the future of former President Jair Bolsonaro's political career ended after 5 of the court's 7 judges voted in favor of banning him from running for public office. The former right-wing leader has been barred from office until 2030 for the alleged abuse of power after he summoned ambassadors to his residence last year and claimed that the electronic ballots used were vulnerable to hacking and fraud ahead of last year's election. The court also weighed allegations that Bolsonaro purposely used official Independence Day celebrations in September 2022 to campaign, which equates to an abuse of his political and economic power. His lawyers previously vowed to appeal against the verdict and argued that his statements had no bearing on the election result. To note, Bolsonaro narrowly lost his re-election bid to leftist President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. David, it can be remembered that tens of the thousands of Bolsonaro supporters protested against his defeat in last year's elections and asked for the armed forces to intervene. Back to you, David.
Thank you. That's Natalia Prado live on SMNI Studios.
Meanwhile, Japanese police arrested an 86-year-old suspected gunman who barricaded himself in a post office in Tokyo while taking with him 2 female post office workers as hostages. Natsumi Kojima reports.
2 female hostages were successfully freed in an 8-hour standoff, which authorities said could be related to an earlier shooting at a local hospital in Saitama Prefecture. The armed suspect eventually released one of the hostages, while the other one was freed after police officers raided the area and detained the suspect on Tuesday. Both women were unharmed, but the motive for the attack is still being investigated. The hostage taker, who is in his 80s, was also the suspect from the hospital shooting which took place earlier in the day at the nearby Toda Chuo General Hospital. The armed suspect injured 2 people, identified as a doctor and an elderly patient, during the attack. Authorities concluded the same suspect was involved at the hostage-taking incident at the post office and the shooting attack at the nearby hospital due to the proximity of both facilities. Shootings are rare in Japan and is known to have strict gun ownership rules. The government allows civilians to own hunting rifles and airguns after undergoing a strict exam and mental health test. Ijo Nihon Karakoji Manasumi, News at Shimashita. SMNI News, Japan.
The death toll is in the brutal fighting between Israel and Palestinians in the Gaza Strip surpassed 10,000 people on both sides. The Israel-Hamas conflict has resulted in heavy death toll, with over 1,400 lives lost in Israel. The number includes soldiers, police officers, and journalists. Additionally, more than 5,431 individuals in Israel have been injured. In Gaza Strip, the situation is even more dire, with at least 8,525 people killed, including children, women, and journalists, while over 21,000 have been injured. The conflict's impact extends to occupied West Bank, with at least 123 deaths and 1,980 injuries. The figures have been reported by the Palestinian Health Ministry, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, and Israeli Medical Services. The growing death toll is extensive casualties highlights the grim reality of the ongoing conflict, as global leaders urgently call for a ceasefire and a peaceful resolution to address the issue fueling the crisis.
While the Indonesian police arrested dozens of militants linked to a suspected plot to disrupt the 2024 presidential elections. Anissa de Guzman will tell us more.
At least 59 people with suspected links to two militant groups in Indonesia were arrested over concerns that they are part of a plan to create disorder in the upcoming presidential elections in February of next year. Indonesia's counter-terrorism special detachment 88 unit revealed that they have seized weapons, propaganda material, and bomb-making chemicals from the suspected militants. Some of the militants arrested came from groups with ties to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. The attacks will be reportedly focused on security officers and police facilities. To note, Indonesian President Joko Widodo's eldest son, Gibran Rakabuming, will run as vice presidential candidate in next year's elections after following his father's footsteps in politics. Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim country that has witnessed a series of Islamist attacks since suicide terrorist attacks carried out by Al-Qaeda against the United States on September 1, 2001. Di siya Nanisa de Guzman rangin siya kuntep mahanakon. SMNI News, Pratethay, Sawadiha.
The Israeli army reported killing a top Hamas commander following a deadly airstrike in the besieged Gaza Strip. A spokesperson for Israel's Defense Forces, or IDF, said that the military killed a senior Hamas commander during a deadly airstrike at Habali, a refugee camp in northern Gaza, on Tuesday. According to the military, the target was one of the architects of the surprise attack launched by Hamas on October 7. The military also blamed the Palestinian militant group for hiding under civilians by building terrorist infrastructure under residences. Meanwhile, various sources gave conflicting figures as to the real death toll for the deadly airstrike in Gaza refugee camp. Some sources said that about 400 people had been killed or wounded in the strikes, while Hamas officials initially reported 50 casualties from the blast. The latest incident took place after Israel expanded its ground operations in Gaza last week, and the military warned of engaging in a long war with Hamas.
Thailand has waived the visa requirements for both Indian and Taiwanese tourists to attract more tourists and boats and boost the local tourism industry. Chatmokon Pisamaygozon reports.
Tourists from India and Taiwan will be able to enter Thailand without a visa between November 10 and May 10. The latest measure comes a month after the country scrapped the visa requirement for Chinese tourists in September. Before the pandemic, 2 million Indian tourists visited Thailand, making India one of the most important sources of tourism besides China, Malaysia, South Korea, and Taiwan. Thailand hopes to welcome 28 million tourists by the end of the year with the help of the visa exemption program. Thailand generated 927.5 billion baht in tourism profits after the so-called Kingdom of Smiles received 22 million visitors from January to October รายงานจากกรุงเทพมหานครนายชัดมงคลพิสมัยโกศล SMNI News ประเทศไทยสวัสดีครับ
Authorities in Davao region have not recorded any major untoward incidents during the observance of All Souls Day. PNP Region 11 Regional Der Alding Delvo also said that they will continue to implement stringent security measures even after the crowd in the cemeteries dwindles. Jean Domingo reports.
Police Region 11 Regional Director Alden Delvo said that the observance of All Souls Day in Davao region was generally peaceful and that authorities have not recorded any major untoward incidents, especially in Davao City. Delvo noted that historically, celebrations for the Day of the Dead were safe. He also confirmed that they have not also recorded any major crimes or violence in the 185 public and private cemetery in the region. Despite this, the officials stressed that they continue to implement stringent security measures to ensure the safety of the public wherever they go.
So, gipadayon nato ko whatever is the intensity of the security deployment nato sa BSKA is pareho ra gyapon, no? With that, we have deployed 4,315 PNP personnel, no, to all sa places of convergence, place of worship, cemeteries such as this one, and of course katong mga lugar nga giadtoan po sa mga tao para mag-enjoy po sila, di ba, like the beaches, no, ato ang mga tourist destinations.
Meanwhile, apart from securing the public, the police force also sees to it that all measures in place for the holiday are strictly observed.
Well, gibantayan nato is of course na amantay mga mandato, no, not to bring, of course, firearms, bladed weapons, and bawal na ang imbibing of liquor, intoxicating liquor inside the cemeteries. And we also have our curfew, I think at 9 o'clock in the evening, or I believe 9 o'clock in the evening, wala na pwede diri sa atong cemetery niya. Wala ko'y mag-overnight.
The official also clarified that they will not file any case for people who brought pointed materials, especially if they were personal belongings or tools for their vehicles, as they were only prohibited inside the cemetery. Authorities will continue to implement security measures for the observance of the All Saints and All Souls Day, even after the crowd in the cemeteries dwindles. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Jean Domingo, SMNI News.
SMNI Foundation Incorporated, in collaboration with the Chinese Embassy, continues to its mission of implementing various projects across the Philippines. One of their latest initiatives is the construction of a basketball court in different areas of the country. We'll take a closer look at a recent held inauguration in Dagan Leyte with Hannah Jensenis.
It's undeniable that Filipinos have a strong passion for playing basketball. Regarding of age, basketball is a sport that they hold dear to their hearts. In Dagami, a third-class municipality in the province of Leyte, is the newest location chosen by SMNI Foundation Inc. in partnership with the People's Republic of China Embassy in the Philippines to establish a basketball court. The inauguration took place on Wednesday morning, the first day of November, attended by key figures including Engineer Edwin Labanda from the Leyte Provincial General Services Office, who represented Governor Jericho Petilla, Dagami Municipal Administrator Antonio Del Pilar, and Barangay Cabariwan Chairman Leonardo Padriquez. Chinese Embassy Councilor Jilin Peng and Admar Velando, an anchor and volunteer with SMNI Foundation Inc., also witnessed the event.
Sports have a unique way of bringing people together. They unite us
through the joy of competition and the spirit of teamwork. As we all know, basketball is a favorite sport in the Philippines. We are very happy to see that the Philippines successfully held the Basketball World Cup earlier this year. And a few weeks ago, during the 19th Asian Games, which was held in Hangzhou City of China, the Philippines men's basketball team won another time a gold medal again after 61 years. So it's awesome work for the Filipino basketball. So congratulations. As we gather here today, it's our hope that this newly constructed basketball court will become a focal point for the communities, where friendships are formed, dreams are nurtured, and where the future basketball stars of the Philippines will find their first footing.
On behalf of our pinakamamahal na Gobernador Jericho Ikot Pitilla, ang aming taus-pusong pasasalamat kasi po nagkaroon po ng project na para ito sa mga future generation, para ito sa mga bata at para magkaroon sila ng libangan, hindi sila mapunta sa mga gawaing hindi maganda, hindi sila mapunta sa mga ano-anong mga bisyo katulad ng druga o ano-ano pa. So nagpapasalamat ang ating mahal na gobernador Carlos Jericho Ikot Pitilla sa SMNI at saka sa Chinese Embassy.
Malaking talaga kung mag-allocate ang isang bayan or sa probinsya ng ganitong klaseng program o projects. Talagang this is part ng SMNI na binigyan ng opportunity yung mga kababayan natin na makapag-ensayo, lalong-lalo na sa basketball because yung mga bata dito mahilig talaga sa basketball. Not only here in our locality, but even sa ibang lugar. So ito, malaking opportunity para sa amin na malaking tulong rin. Hindi lang sa SMNI, lahat ng mga constituents na namin. So malaking tulong at the same time, yung mga bata, hindi na sila maliligaw kung isipin natin sa panahon ngayon maraming nagkakabisyo na pupunta sa hindi magandang kalagayan. So as sportsmanship, nandyan, malaking tulong para sa amin.
Sa pangunguna ng ating butihing Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy ng SMNI, ng SMNI Foundation, magpapatuloy ang pagbibigay ng serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan. Bahagi lang ito sa napakarami pa ng mga plano ng ating butihing pastor katulad ng SMNI Foundation na gagawin para sa ating mga kababayan, mga basketball courts at yung panata ng ating butihing pastor na agad magbigay ng tulong sa panahon ng pangangailangan, kalamidad, natural calamities man yan, kung ano pa, nakahanda ang SMNI and SMNI Foundation para magapay sa ating mga kababayan. Marami pa tayong gagawin ng mga proyekto. Yan po yung pangako natin buting Pastor Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao po at maging sa buong mundo.
SMNI Foundation had previously built a basketball court in Barangay Tamayong, Calinan, Davao City in collaboration with the Chinese Embassy. It is expected that this initiative will continue to benefit many more locations across the country.
For God and my beloved Philippines, this is Queen Hannah Jane Sancho, SMNI News, Dagami later.
And before we end, may you be inspired with the message of the appointed Son of God. I will never give up because I know that He will always make a way for me.
And for our Christmas countdown, it's only 53 days to go before Christmas. And that's all for today's edition of Newsline World. For more news update, you may visit us on SMNINewsChannel.com or follow us on our official social media accounts on Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. For God and Country, I'm Mayk and Oliveira.
For God and Country, I'm Deivid Lira, and thank you for watching Newsline World. And thank you to our beloved pastor, Pastor Apollo Sikiboloy, for the opportunity to be part of this program.
May you always continue to listen on SMNI as it delivers nothing but fair, truthful, and balanced news, because SMNI is your source of credible news.